The storm began without clouds. On a dead moon, inside a forgotten Jedi ruin, the Force twisted like a wound ripped open. Stones lifted. Dust froze midair. Light dimmed, as if the galaxy held its breath. Anakin Skywalker felt it while flying a Republic patrol. The disturbance hit him like a scream through his bones. He broke formation, landed hard near the ruin, and sprinted inside with his lightsaber already in hand. "Show yourself," he warned. The air split. A vertical tear of blue-white energy opened from floor to ceiling. Wind blasted outward. Ancient walls shuddered. Then a figure stepped through, tall, armored, black cape dragging like a shadow. Each breath was mechanical, heavy, and cold. Anakin's grip tightened. "You're not a Jedi." The figure stopped and turned his helmet slowly, and Anakin felt it, an unmistakable Force signature. Familiar, immense, broken. It was him. Not a clone, not a vision. Real metal, real hatred, and a presence scarred by years of suffering. Anakin stared at the mask like it was a coffin, with his name carved into it. The stranger walked forward. Rubble rose higher around Anakin, as if gravity obeyed the newcomer instead. Anakin fought to steady his breathing. "What are you?" The voice came through a vocoder, deep, distorted, and wrong. "I am what you become." Anakin's stomach dropped. He tried to reach into the Force to see the future, but the anomaly shattered every possibility like glass. There were only fragments, fire, screaming, and a name whispered in grief. Then the figure ignited a red lightsaber. The blade snapped to life with a savage hiss, bathing the ruins in blood. Anakin's blue blade answered instantly. Two Skywalkers stood in the same moment, one still holding hope, the other forged from regret. They charged. The first clash shook the temple. Sparks burst like tiny stars. Stone cracked under their feet. And behind Vader, the rift widened again like something else, something hungry, was trying to force its way through. Their blades locked, face-to-face future against present. And from the widening tear in time, a second dark presence began to rise. Anakin drove Vader back through collapsing pillars, boots sliding across cracked tiles. Every strike felt like hitting a wall that struck back harder. Vader didn't waste motion. He didn't rage like Maul or toy like Dooku. He fought like someone who had already lost everything. Anakin searched for a face behind the helmet. "Take it off!" he shouted. Vader answered with force pressure that crushed the air. Anakin's knees bent. The stone beneath him groaned. He resisted, teeth clenched, and shoved back with his own power. For a second, the ruin trembled between them, two hurricanes colliding. Vader finally spoke, calm as a verdict. "Your anger grows. Good." That line hit Anakin like ice. He had heard it before, echoes of Palpatine's tone, dressed in a different voice. Anakin stepped away, breathing hard. "You serve him," he said. "You serve the Chancellor." Vader's red blade lowered a fraction. "He becomes Emperor." End quote. "We from servant was red blade." The words landed heavy. Anakin's mind flashed to the war, to the politics, to the secret meetings, to the way Palpatine always seemed to know what Anakin feared. Anakin's eyes narrowed. Padme. What happens to Padme? The helmet tilted slightly, almost like hesitation. Then Vader attacked again, faster, more violent. It wasn't an answer. It was a refusal. Anakin blocked, but the blows drove him backward until his shoulders slammed into a cracked wall panel. The panel reflected the red blade, and in that reflection, Anakin saw himself wearing black, his face hidden, his posture heavy with shame. His stomach turned. "This is a trick," Anakin growled. "The Force doesn't decide who I become." Vader's voice dropped, colder. "It did. Because you chose it." Anakin lunged, furious, and their sabers locked so close that heat rippled between them. Anakin tried to reach through the Force, to feel the man inside the armor, to sense the truth. And he felt it, pain layered on pain, guilt packed into silence, love burned into ash. Anakin's voice softened for the first time. You're me. You're what I become if I fail. Vader pushed him away with a force blast that shattered more stone. You will fail, he said, because you think you can save everyone. Anakin rose from the debris, eyes blazing. Then I'll start by saving myself. He glanced toward the rift, pulsing like a living wound. If Vader came from it, then the truth was inside it too. Anakin backed toward the tier. Vader stepped forward to stop him. Anakin raised his blade, not at Vader, at the rift itself. And Vader surged forward, realizing Anakin was about to change everything. Vader moved like a guillotine, falling. He closed the distance with one brutal step, then hammered Anakin with a sequence of strikes meant to break wrists and will. Anakin blocked, but the impact numbed his arms. Vader wasn't just trying to win. He was trying to erase. Anakin felt that Vader's intent wasn't hatred alone. It was fear. Fear that the past could escape. Fear that the light still inside Anakin could survive long enough to change the future. You can't kill me, Anakin snapped, forcing a shove with the Force. You're still alive. Because I'm alive. Vader slid back, cape whipping, then answered with a crushing grip that slammed Anakin into a pillar. Stone cracked around Anakin's shoulders. His breath punched out. Vader advanced. You misunderstand, he said. I am alive because you die. Anakin's eyes widened. What? Vader didn't explain. He attacked again. Anakin barely rolled away as the red blade carved through the pillar, slicing ancient stone like soft metal. The ruin shook. Ceiling fragments crashed down. The rift flickered brighter, reacting to the violence like a wound feeding on pain. Anakin rose, furious. He unleashed a wave of Force energy that tore tiles from the floor and hurled them at Vader like missiles. Vader didn't dodge. He simply raised his hand and stopped them midair. Then he flung them back. Anakin spun, cutting debris apart in flashes of blue. Dust filled the air. Sparks and stone rained down. Vader's voice cut through it. You think power will save her, he said? You think love is permission? Anakin's face tightened at the word her. Don't speak about Padme. Vader stepped in close, red blade low, and struck upward with a lethal sweep. Anakin barely caught it, their sabers locking at chest height. For a moment, the helmet was inches from Anakin's face. Anakin could hear the mechanical breathing. It sounded like drowning. Vader whispered, almost like a confession. I tried, and it destroyed everything. And with Rabatter, with everything. And with one de mines with them. Of quarter, on mine, and de mine. And it destroyed everything. Anakin's anger wavered. Confusion slipped in. He searched Vader's presence again, felt the burned remains of a man still haunted by love. That hesitation cost him. Vader headbutted him with the helmet's hard edge. Stars exploded in Anakin's vision. He stumbled back, dazed, and Vader raised his blade for a killing strike. The red blade fell fast, final. And the rift screamed, as if time itself refused to watch Anakin die. Anakin caught the killing strike with both hands on his saber, knees shaking. The red blade pressed close enough to warm his cheek. Vader leaned in, strength relentless, trying to end it right there. Anakin dug deep. He pushed back with the Force, throwing Vader off balance, then leapt over a fallen column and sprinted toward the inner chamber. He needed space. He needed answers. And he needed a way to seal the rift before the future swallowed him whole. Vader followed without hurry. That was the terrifying part. He moved like fate patient, inevitable. The inner chamber opened into a circular hall lined with broken statues of old Jedi Masters. Their faces were cracked, eyes missing, as if history had been gouged out. The center of the room held a shattered holocron pedestal, still humming faintly with ancient energy. Anakin skidded to a stop. This place is reacting, he said aloud, thinking fast. The Force is unstable here. Vader ignited his blade higher. So are you. Anakin attacked first this time. A storm of blue strikes fueled by fear for Padme. Every swing carried one thought. If this future was real, then Padme was in danger right now. Vader blocked with minimal motion, then countered with one heavy blow that sent Anakin stumbling. "You will do anything to save her," Vader said, "even betray the Order." Anakin froze for half a heartbeat. "How do you—" Vader slammed him with a force shove that launched him into a statue. Stone shattered. Anakin fell hard, gasping. Vader approached, blade humming. "You believe love makes you strong," he said. "It makes you desperate, and desperate men are easy to control." Anakin rose, eyes burning. "I'm not his puppet." Vader's helmet tilted. "Not yet." The rift's light leaked through cracks in the ceiling now, like lightning trapped behind stone. The temple shook again, reacting to their voices, their rage, their fear. Anakin glanced at the pedestal. He reached out with the Force and felt it echoes of calm, discipline, balance. The Jedi had built this place to contain dark currents. Maybe it could contain the rift, too. He planted his feet, lowered his blade, and did something Vader didn't expect. He tried to center himself. He tried to let go. Vader struck immediately. "No, you don't get to be better." Anakin snapped his saber up, barely blocking, but the impact drove him to one knee. The pedestal behind him cracked and flared with energy. The ancient device awakened light surging into the rift. And far away, in Coruscant's shadows, Sidious opened his eyes. On Coruscant, the Chancellor paused mid-sentence during a quiet meeting. His advisors kept talking, unaware the air had changed. Palpatine's eyes drifted upward, as if he listened to a voice only he could hear. In the Force, a collision was burning blue and red, present and future, the same soul tearing itself apart. Palpatine smiled. "Leave me," he said softly. When the room emptied, he walked to his private window and stared out at the endless city. "Two Skywalkers," he whispered. "How generous the Force has become." He didn't fear the anomaly. He welcomed it. A rift like that wasn't an accident. It was an invitation. And Palpatine knew exactly how to answer. Back on the dead moon, the temple groaned under pressure. The pedestal's light flared again, sending a pulse into the rift. The tear shuddered, then widened. Anakin felt the change first. A new presence reached through, sharp as a blade and cold as deep space. His skin prickled. Vader stopped attacking for one brief moment. His helmet lifted, as if he sensed the same thing. His breathing grew louder. "No," Vader muttered. Anakin stared. "You're afraid of him." Vader didn't deny it. "You don't understand what you're inviting." The rift surged, and the temple's inner chamber flashed with a new image, Coruscant's skyline, like a window forced open in reality. For a second, Anakin saw traffic lanes, towers, and a distant spire that felt wrong in the Force. The Chancellor's office. Palpatine was pulling. Anakin's mind raced. If Palpatine could influence the rift, then this wasn't just a duel anymore. It was a hunt. Vader stepped forward. "He will take you," he warned. "Or he will take me. Either way, you lose." Anakin swallowed his fear and raised his blade. "Then we stop him." Vader's red saber lifted. "You can't stop him. Not alone." Anakin stared at him, shocked by the honesty. The future was offering cooperation, not out of kindness, but survival. The rift pulled harder. The floor cracked. Statues slid toward the glowing tier. The air began to scream like tearing metal. Anakin anchored himself with the Force, but his boots dragged across stone. Vader planted his feet, too, resisting, cape snapping in the wind. They were being dragged toward Coruscant, toward Sidious. And in the Force, Palpatine's laughter rolled in like thunder. The rift snapped wider, swallowing the chamber in blinding light. And both Skywalkers fell forward straight into the Emperor's waiting hands. They hit polished stone like meteors. Anakin rolled, came up with his blue blade ready, and realized where they were inside a vast private hall connected to the Chancellor's office. Tall windows framed the night city. Guards were absent. This was deliberate. Palpatine stood at the far end, calm as if he'd planned this for years. His hands were folded behind his back. His smile was gentle, almost grandfatherly. "Anakin," he said warmly, "and Lord Vader, what an unexpected reunion." Anakin's stomach turned at the name, Lord Vader. So it was true. Vader didn't move. He stared at Palpatine like a man staring at a cage he built himself. Palpatine stepped closer. "This rift is a gift," he said. "Two versions of the chosen one. I only need the stronger." Anakin's voice sharpened. "You did this." Palpatine chuckled. "I nurtured what was already inside you. Fear of loss, hunger for control." His eyes gleamed. "Now, choose. Serve me as you were meant to, or be replaced." The pressure in the room thickened. The dark side coiled like smoke around Palpatine's words. Anakin glanced at Vader. "He owns you," Anakin said. "Doesn't he?" Vader's breathing was the only reply. Anakin stepped closer to his future self, lowering his saber slightly. "Listen to me," he said, voice urgent. "This is the moment. Break the chain now. Help me stop him." Vader's helmet turned toward Anakin. The red blade trembled a fraction, like the hand holding it wasn't sure anymore. Palpatine's smile widened. "Beautiful," he whispered. "The boy tries to save the monster." Anakin's eyes flashed. "You're not a monster. You're me." He swallowed hard. "And if you're still here, then something in you still cares." Vader's voice came out low, strained, carrying his weakness. Anakin shook his head. "No, it's the reason you're fighting at all. You don't want this. You just think you deserve it." Palpatine raised one hand, and the room's lights flickered. "Enough!" he snapped. "Vader, kill him!" The order struck the air like a whip. Vader's red saber lifted. Anakin held still, refusing to ignite fear. He stared at Vader through the mask. "Choose," Anakin said softly. "Not the Emperor, not the prophecy. Choose yourself." Vader's blade hovered inches from Anakin's throat. And for the first time, the Dark Lord hesitated. The silence lasted one heartbeat. Then Vader moved. Not toward Anakin, toward Sidious. His red blade snapped sideways in a brutal strike aimed at the Emperor's chest. It was fast, decisive, and full of years of trapped rage. Palpatine didn't flinch. He smiled. His hands rose and lightning exploded outward. The blast caught Vader mid-swing, throwing him back into a column. Metal screamed. Sparks burst from his armor. Anakin lunged, blue blade up, intercepting the next wave. Electricity crawled along his saber like living fire. His arms shook, his teeth clenched. "So predictable," Palpatine purred. "Both of you want freedom. Neither of you deserves it." Vader staggered upright, smoke leaking from his chest panel. He looked at Anakin not with kindness, but with grim understanding. "Together," Vader rasped. Anakin nodded once. That was all it took. They attacked from two sides. Blue and red flashed through the hall. Palpatine drew a crimson blade of his own, moving with terrifying speed. He parried Anakin, spun, kicked Vader back, then struck again like a machine made of cruelty. The fight tore the room apart. Glass shattered. Statues toppled. The floor cracked under force pressure. Outside, Coruscant traffic lanes flickered as power systems overloaded from the surge. Anakin pushed harder, fueled by one thought: Padme. If he died here, she died too. He couldn't let that happen. Vader fought differently. He fought like someone who had already lost Padme, already buried everything, and was now fighting for one last chance to undo it. Palpatine laughed as he traded blows. "You see?" he hissed. "He fights because he regrets. You fight because you fear." Anakin's anger flared dangerous, hot, tempting. He felt the dark side offer him speed, certainty, power. Vader sensed it instantly. "Don't," he growled. "That's how it starts." Anakin gritted his teeth and forced his mind back to control, back to choice. Palpatine slammed both hands down, sending a shockwave that launched them apart. Vader hit the floor hard. Anakin crashed into a shattered window frame, city lights spinning behind him. Palpatine stepped between them, blade raised. "Only one Skywalker will leave this room," he whispered, "and I will decide which." Lightning gathered again in Palpatine's hands, brighter than before, and the rift in time reopened right above the battlefield. The rift tore open above them, like a second sky. Blue-white energy spiraled across the ceiling, pulling air, debris, and even loose chunks of stone upward. Palpatine looked delighted. "Yes," he breathed, "time itself will kneel." He raised his hands and split his lightning one stream toward Anakin, one toward Vader. The twin blasts pinned them in place, forcing both Skywalkers to their knees. Anakin screamed through clenched teeth. His saber trembled, his muscles locked. He could feel his heart fighting the electricity. Vader's armor sparked violently. Systems failed in bursts, yet he stayed upright through sheer will, like a dead star refusing to collapse. Palpatine stepped forward, eyes glowing. "Anakin," he said softly, "you can end your suffering. Give me your trust. Give me your future." Anakin stared up, vision blurring. He saw Padme's smile in his mind. He saw her fear. He saw the baby names they'd whispered in private. Then he looked at Vader. The monster. The warning. The proof. And Anakin understood. Vader wasn't here to win. Vader was here to make sure the past didn't repeat him. Vader turned his helmet slightly toward Anakin. "Live," he rasped. Anakin shook his head. "No." Vader made his choice. He disengaged his saber and used both hands, both broken, shaking hands to grab Palpatine's lightning with the Force, pulling the energy into his own body like a lightning rod. The Emperor's eyes widened. "Impossible!" Vader roared, stepping forward through the storm. His armor screamed. Circuits burned. But he pushed Palpatine backward, inch by inch, toward the open rift. Anakin felt the pressure release. He surged up and drove his blue blade into the floor, anchoring himself. He reached out with the Force, not to attack, but to stabilize the rift's pull. He tried to control the chaos long enough for Vader to finish it. Palpatine fought, clawing at the air, trying to break free. "You are mine!" he shrieked. Vader answered with one final shove, pure rage, pure regret, pure sacrifice. Palpatine and Vader vanished into the rift together. The tear snapped shut like a wound sealing. Silence fell. Anakin stood alone in the ruined hall, trembling, staring at the empty space where his future had been. Outside, Coruscant kept shining, unaware reality had changed. And Anakin realized someone else now remembered Vader's face.